being a mom is like the only job that you're irreplaceable for. And then I was like, oh, wow, I've never thought of it that way. And I'm going to take my job a little more serious.
Hi, I'm Teresa.
And I'm Emily.
This is No Ordinary Friendship. Join us as we catch up on pop culture, parenthood, and whatever's on our minds.
We promise a short break from real life, just for a little bit.
We all have our people.
And now you are one of them. Hi, Teresa.
Hello. Welcome to another week.
Look at us matching without even coordinating.
I know. I want to see, what does the bottom of your sweater look like?
Oh, it's just black. It's not that exciting. But we're both black and white for you listeners who are only listening on podcasts. But if you go check out YouTube, you can see us and hear us. But super funny story about this sweater. It's not that funny, but
I'm laughing.
I didn't do dry cleaning for, I want to say, like almost 4 years. Like, since the pandemic hit, I was kind of like, oh, well, dry cleaning doesn't need to be done. And I had like a basket of dry cleaning that I transported from when we moved from LA to here.
Oh my God.
And it was
Which
still
was
just
years ago.
Yes, years ago. And even before that, I don't think I dry cleaned like ever since COVID hit. So the other day, it was like maybe a month or two ago, Victor was like, oh, can you go drop off some dry cleaning? I have to wear this suit for a meeting that I have to go to. And I was like, sure, might as well dry clean some of my clothes too. So it's like I rediscovered clothes that I hadn't seen in years, and this was one of them.
That reminds me of like toy rotation for kids. You just kind of have like dry cleaning clothing rotation for yourself.
Yes.
It's like, ooh, something new in my closet.
Ooh, you should start a trend, Teresa.
Just shove all my stuff. Yeah. Well, the only stuff that I would rediscover would be like the cashmere and the wool.
Yeah, and silk.
Yeah, and silk. Although I don't have any of that. Your sweater reminds me of, I asked to see the bottom because my mom has a sweater like that.
Oh.
You're an Asian mom. But hers is from Zara. I was like, when do you ever shop at Zara, Mom?
She's so trendy.
I know. It's kind of odd. I'm like, what are you even doing in there? How did you even pass by the store?
Is there Zara in Taiwan?
There is. There's a huge one near where we live, too. So
nice. Up at Zara more when I lived in SF. Is that Zara still there in the mall?
I feel like nothing's in the mall anymore. But though that one, I think it's still there, but it's very, like all the Zaras in the US are very chaotic and they're very dirty.
Yeah.
I went to a Zara in Japan and I was like, what is this experience? Because it was so clean. Maybe because I was in the business district too, but everything was like actually folded.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't look like people were just sifting and throwing stuff around. Yeah. And you know how when you try stuff on at Zara or like any store, there's a bunch of lint and like dust in the corner.
It feels dirty,
of the,
right?
Yeah, it always feels dirty. It was so clean in there. Oh. So clean.
Well, that might be a Japan thing. Like, I feel like Japan is clean all over.
True.
Before we jump into our breaking news, one of our listeners did inform me after our little talk about pronunciations that there's an alternative spelling for aluminum. So I apologize to all the British and whoever else spells it with N-I-U-M at the end, because then I understand why you pronounce it aluminium. So I learned something new.
You know, when you showed me that correction, I was like, when did we even talk about it? I didn't remember the context of it at all. Do you remember?
Yeah, because we were talking about like pecan and pecan. And,
and
then I think we brought up aluminium. But anyway, thank you, listener, for correcting me and educating me.
Learn something new all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so because it's still January and a lot of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by mid-January, I figure we could chat about ours now, even though we're a couple weeks late, and see if we can not
keep them going.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I usually have like the typical ones that I think I never keep. So I was trying to think of some better ones. And here are the two that I thought of. The first one is to be less of a downer of a parent. Because I think like not only on this podcast, but also like within my friend group, I feel like I complain about my kids a lot. And I am making
We all do, though. It's not just you.
You're right. We all do. But I don't know. I feel like I do it excessively. And I'm going to try not to and practice more gratitude with my kids. And I think like if I change my attitude, maybe they'll change their behavior. I don't know. Here's hoping. And I think
that's a good one.
I think I do complain a lot because I'm often doing it by myself, which is, it's a little overwhelming. 2 young kids who don't listen that much with one parent versus like 2 parents in the game, or maybe 2 parents and a grandparent, or just like more adults, involved.
Totally. Well, my reaction to your resolution, even though you didn't ask for it, is you should give yourself a little bit more grace because you're obviously like not solo parenting, but you are doing the morning stuff, the evening stuff, and that's like the bulk of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And like this week, it's just been this week. I've been sleep deprived from jet lag, and I've been Tyler so much, and Logan's screaming all the time. Like I've been complaining way more. And I know you do that like for years now.
Yeah. It's just
so it's all warranted. Yeah, it does.
But I know how lucky I am, and like, just to have healthy kids and, developmentally on track kids. Just there are a lot more things I could be stressed about. So I'm going to try not to grumble so much and maybe like say positive things about them when I talk to my friends.
I think a mental shift will be good.
Yeah.
Just like being more positive.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw this video that was like, being a mom is like the only job that you're irreplaceable for. And then I was like, oh, wow, I've never thought of it that way. And I'm going to take my job a little more seriously.
You do. And it's true. No one could ever replace you.
Yeah.
Ever.
So that's my first one. And then my second one, which I think goes well, like hand in hand with it, is actually to prioritize my own health. Or just like prioritize me a little bit more this year. And that comes to health, so hopefully exercising more, and also mental health. So like carving out time for myself to do things that I enjoy versus just constantly feeling like I'm in the grind. And I know I'm like lucky to not be working full time right now. And so I might as well take advantage of that.
Yay. I love that. Okay. I kind of went in a similar but very different direction because I'm always thinking like, okay, well, you can have a resolution, but how do I make it measurable? And that's like work side planning come to place. I know, which I don't like at all. But one of the ones is I want to do some type of movement every single week, whether that's yoga or strength training. I think for me, I want to focus on yoga right now because I know that's something like with my joints and my arthritis, which we can talk about some other time. Yoga is something that I could definitely do. And they just opened up a new yoga studio near me that I want to check out.
I feel like you and I like discovered yoga together.
We did.
Didn't we go to, I forget what it was called, like a California yoga. I forget.
I think he rebranded to that or something. Okay. But you're right. You found us.
Yogic movement? Was
yogic motion. Yes. Wait, is that right?
Something like that. And that's when we also, this feels so old, but that's when we discovered Lululemon. We were like, what is that brand that everybody's wearing with that little logo? And then we're like, oh my gosh, $100 for pants.
No, I totally remember you found that yoga place and then you asked me to go and we went a lot. And because we love a good value as Asians, we like signed up for the monthly thing and it was kind of torturous, but it felt really good. It was hot yoga. The teacher's name was Brian.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
And I think for a while he moved locations and you decided to stop going and I still went.
You kept going, I remember.
But back then we were still wearing old free t-shirts from college to go work out. And so when other people were wearing Lululemon, we're like,
pants.
we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
Did we discover Lululemon like during our bar method era?
Oh, probably that.
Which you also discovered, Emily.
Yeah.
You were like basically my fitness influencer.
Workouts and then I quit them. Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
Okay, my second one is I want to spend more intentional date nights with Steven.
Oh, I love that.
I think we need it, and I think he brings it up, but it's like very loosely thrown out there, you know, like, oh, for tomorrow? I'm like, how would that work out logistically? And like, who's going to watch the kids? Like, where are we going? I need time to mentally prepare. Yeah. That is something that I think we should be better about in general. I don't know how often or the frequency, but figure that out later.
Yeah, that's a great one. And I feel like I was just talking to someone and they were saying like, a lot of husbands feel neglected once kids come into the picture. Where I'm like, should you feel neglected or should you help more? But anyway, like...
That was my first gut instinct too.
But yeah, I think that's great. And I do think we forget to like keep that relationship going. Oh, sorry, I'm like tangenting all over the place today. I listened to the Asian Boss Girl. I think maybe I told you this last week, but she has a side podcast where she talks more about like parenthood. And she had her husband on to ask him like his thoughts about like what is life like after having kids, kind of the pros and cons. And one of the things he talked about, he sounded like really sad, but I think he was just tired. He was like, oh, you don't realize that your relationship with your spouse is changed forever. Like it's never going to go back to just the two of you getting to like spend so much time together and focus on each other. And like now you both have to just like factor in the kid, and like a lot of times the kid is your priority, which you're both okay with. But yeah, I really like.
How did you feel about that statement?
It resonated with me because I do feel like Victor and I used to just spend so much time together and we enjoyed it, and now we spend very little time, just the two of us together, and most of the time we're too tired, so we're literally just like on the couch eating dinner, watching Netflix, you know? And it's fine. Hopefully as the kids get older, we can do more date nights. But for now, it's like not really realistic with his work schedule and my kids being very antisocial with new people.
Well, the way you put it, I understand that, or that resonates with me a lot more when, I don't know, something about like the way, I didn't even listen to the podcast, but like the guy saying, oh, I didn't realize my relationship with my spouse would change. I'd be like, how naive are you? Of course it's going to change. Like, I feel like women go into parenthood a lot more prepared because we talk to people, we see things on social media, and we just share a lot more. Like I learned a lot from my friends that had kids before I did, like their struggles too, and they're much more open about it versus guys are just talking about, I don't know, like, oh, it's hard, man. Oh, it's a lot of work. But okay, so anyways, that's one of my resolutions. I actually have a couple other ones that, one of them is I want to find my style. I don't have any style, Emily.
Me too.
That's not a priority, which is why I didn't like, put it as my top 2. But at some point, I'd like to find it. I want to prioritize sleeping earlier because doom scrolling is, I'll talk to you about it in the jet lag area later this podcast.
Okay.
And then the third one being, I want to have a growth mindset. I don't know what that really means. I like the way it sounds. I think I kind of know what it means when I read about it, and it always resonates. But I feel like I'm always entering situations or big decisions from a place of fear or a place of like the unknown where I'm almost mentally and physically blocking myself from doing something. And so I need to give myself that push in whatever direction or whatever part of my life it may be. That's just like the general mindset I want to go into 2024.
Cool. I like it. I like all of those. And I have always felt you had really good style. Like you have a distinct and like elevated style. So
Oh, Emily, thank you so much. But I don't. Things have changed.
Need to find style because all I have is sweatpants and joggers and sweatshirts.
I feel like since we stopped working, like living together, I don't know.
That's
the
a long
pandemic,
time ago.
kids. I know. I've had style for 10 years.
Okay, let's see. Oh, breaking news. So there was that Alaska Airlines flight. This will be old news for our listeners.
Yeah.
But like
the one where the window popped
out. But apparently someone found an iPhone on the ground that came out of that flight, and it wasn't even cracked, and it was still on.
What? Wait, where did they find it? And how far up in the air were they?
They were like, I don't know, over 10,000 feet up in the air. So I'm just like shocked. And some people are like, is this a publicity stunt? And then I was reading the comments on the post, and people were like, where I dropped my phone off my knee and it cracks. And I was like, that's me too. Because Cassie has cracked my phone like a couple times already. I have like a protective screen on it, and that's what cracks.
The tempered glass screen?
Yeah, but that has cracked like multiple times just from her dropping it from her short height. So how did it fall out of a plane?
I can't believe it didn't hurt anyone either.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, I remember I used to crack my phone all the time. I don't know if it's like I'm less drunk now or like the phones are getting better.
Yeah,
but I
probably
haven't
a little
cracked
bit of both.
I mean, knock on wood, I haven't cracked an iPhone in a very long time.
Yeah. And other
But
people
that's
were
weird.
like, oh, that phone case company is like working hard on a marketing campaign. Tell me
Okay, I
about
did
your
not hear
jet
that.
lag.
It is bad. Okay, it's been 5 days since I've been back from Taiwan, and I am just living a double life. I am awake during work hours, you know, when like other people are awake, and then at night I have this another life that I live from like midnight until 4 a.m. where
Oh my gosh.
I'm kind of living my best life because I'm just doing shows, I'm eating snacks, like no one can tell me what to do. But then 4 a.m. creeps around, I'm like, oh shit, I have to be up in a couple hours to take Tyler to school. And it's a whole thing because I know he's going to be super whiny. I can't just drop him off. I feel like I could get a lot done if I weren't such a zombie.
Do you nap during the day at all?
No, I don't
Oh my
nap
gosh.
because
So you're getting like 3 hours of sleep?
yes. And this cannot, and I texted you. The weekend is coming up and I'm like so thankful like Steven will be around more. But then I was like, oh shit, Steven's getting man sick. I don't know if he's like real sick or like actually, I don't know if he's real sick, you know? I mean, he is, but he's not like.
Well, he has been like going out with his friends, right? So could have caught
Yeah,
something
it was
there.
also, to be fair, it was his birthday 2 nights ago, and his friend from Chicago was in town, so it was only fair.
Probably
for
just
him to go
recovering
out.
from that. Like we're too
Yeah.
old to be partying these days.
Yeah, he needed like a couple days to recover.
Like, where was I? And I had some champagne. I think when we checked into like a hotel. And then I swear the next day I was like, am I hungover? I didn't even finish the glass. I just like felt like a little groggy and a little headache, you know?
I saw this meme that was, do people even say memes anymore? Is that still a thing?
I think so.
But it was like this person Googled all the symptoms that she was having because she was feeling sick. And then she was like, I found out what I have. I have kids. She's like, it's motherhood that's tearing me down.
Yes, yes. Oh, it does.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Let's move to pop culture. Maybe it's old news, but Ali Wong is dating Bill Hader.
I
know
had
that?
no idea until I saw that they kissed when she won
At the Golden Globes,
Globe.
right?
Do you follow Bill Hader?
No. I don't know if I'm a fan of his, so are you?
Well, I had to Google who he was. Like, I know the name.
He was in a
So I'm not
movie
a fan.
with that blonde comedian. Oh, what's her name? The one that like had a baby and talked a lot about like the realities of having a baby. Oh, I forget her name.
Schumer? Amy Schumer?
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you read my mind. He was in a movie with Amy Schumer and he was like a sports doctor in it. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. I remember that one. Yeah, he was in a lot of movies and he's in that show Barry. And there were just all kind of like shows that I didn't really watch or they're kind of like throwaway movies that I don't pay too much attention to. But when I saw him, I was like, oh, he would date an Asian girl. I don't know what it is.
I was more like, oh, is it like a comedian thing? Like, because you know how Joe Coy dated Chelsea Handler, and now I think he's kind of considered a comedian, right? Like he's in the comedic space. I don't know if he was on SNL.
Yeah, he was on SNL.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was like, oh, is it like a thing where comedians just date comedians?
I think it makes sense. I feel like they definitely are in the same industry. They probably struggle the same way. I feel like being a comedian is really hard. Do you know who his ex is?
No.
Anna Kendrick.
What?
Yeah.
That's an interesting
So when I saw
pairing,
that,
too. He could be
when
her
I
dad.
saw that, wait, how old is she?
I have no idea. Doesn't she just look like a little girl, though?
She's got to be in her 30s.
Probably. But she has like
So I
a
was-
youthful face.
Yeah, I was proud of Ali Wong and Bill Hader for dating in the same age range because they're both in their 40s.
Yes. Good for them.
Did you see that people were shocked that Ali Wong didn't thank Bill in her speech?
Oh, no. I didn't even watch her speech.
So she thanked, I mean, and it's justified, right? Like she thanked the baby daddy her ex-husband basically
okay.
for being like a great dad. So it's like it allowed her, a good co-parent, good partner to allow her to, do the stuff that she wants to do professionally. And people were like, why the hell would she thank Bill Hader, the guy that she's dating?
Yeah.
Like, this is has nothing to do with her success at all. And I think it's like a relatively
for being my
new...
arm candy or something.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about The Brother's Son, which you mentioned like someone you know's kids are in it. Or
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So
Do you
guys,
know which ones?
The lead, the male lead.
Oh.
Is his name Justin?
Justin Chen. Isn't that Justin's brother's name too?
Maybe it's him. No, it's my mom's friend texted her in like a group chat or something and was like, "Oh, my daughter and my grandson are both in this new Netflix show called The Brother's Son." Her daughter, I guess, is a mahjong auntie.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means. And then the grandson is the lead.
Oh, cool.
So that got me interested in wanting to watch the show because you guys in our girls group chat were all talking about it. But it was mixed in with a bunch of K-drama talk. So I thought it was a Korean drama until my mom texted and said that it's based in Taipei for part of it too.
Yeah,
so
it's cool. I like it because, well, it's something Victor and I can watch together because he likes like fighting stuff. And then I just thought it's kind of funny the way they like shoot scenes and stuff. And then it is like based on like, or it's not based on, but like it's a Taiwanese family. So a Taiwanese triad, like a gang. And then Michelle Yeoh is in it too.
Love
Which
her.
she's like a huge star, but I was like, she's not Taiwanese, and you can tell from her accent, like if people, because they do speak English and Chinese, which I like.
I like that.
And anyway, I think it's pretty funny because they'll subtly bring in a lot of like elements of, I think, growing up Taiwanese. Like they'll talk about like yo tiao, which is like a Chinese breakfast. And then there's things they talk about where she's like a passive aggressive mother. So she'll be like, I'll go by myself, you stay here. And then someone next to him is like, that means you should go with her. And he's like, what? She just said to stay here. And they're like, no, don't you understand her at all? And then they also cover like little things about how the mom's relationship with different kids is different. They were like, the oldest one gets the respect, but the youngest one gets the love. And, I think they're like little things like that
Interesting.
they handle kind of cool, like not over the top. And I'm not done yet. We're only like 3 episodes in or something, and I keep falling asleep. Not because it's boring. I just fall asleep at night. The other thing I like is it is like a primarily Asian cast. So you feel like you're just watching like a normal show just that happened to be Asian. Because a lot of times when there's a token Asian in a show, I always find them to be weird.
Yeah.
Like in Never Have I Ever, the Asian friend is like really weird. In Glee, when they first kind of, I feel like, were like so proud that they had an Asian, but she was like this weird goth almost, character. Right. And I don't know why
they go too far.
That.
Well, they do it. I feel like they do it because Asians stereotypically are like the nerdy ones, and then they went too far on the other side and like, oh, like she's just this quirky girl because Asians could be quirky and weird too.
Yeah.
I feel like the Crazy Rich Asians did that too, like primarily Asian cast, and it could just be any love story.
Yeah.
About rich people.
But yes, for people watching The Brother's Son, I will keep watching it and then talk about how I felt when I finish it.
How many episodes is it?
I'm not sure.
I wonder, because of my mom's text, I really want to watch it too. And I think one of our friends said that she binged it as well.
Yeah, she was like quarantined because she had COVID and she watched the whole thing and liked it. So
I watched the first 5 minutes, like I told you, and I was like, this is not something that I would watch, but I'm going to keep watching it because people seem to really like it and I want to support my people.
Yes, support them. Our Taiwanese
and it sounds like it's
peeps.
good.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, I think I'm curious if non-Asians or non-Chinese would enjoy it, So we can find a friend and ask
We'll find out later.
Last thing in pop culture is, I put lip is now a sex symbol. Do you remember Lip from Shameless?
Of course I remember Lip from Shameless. I loved him.
But like, did you
his
think
real
he was
name.
good looking?
No, he's definitely okay. People, listeners, we're talking about Jeremy Allen White. In case you didn't watch,
Yes, I
Shameless.
figured you would know his name. So
yeah, there are a lot of sex symbols out there.
He has recently kind of gone viral for this like Calvin Klein underwear ad, and all these people are like, "Yes, chef," because he's also in The Bear, where he's a chef, and I guess everyone's been saying that. But like, I don't know. To me, he's a great actor. I loved his character in Shameless.
Yes.
But I never in a million years would have like pinned him as a sexy guy, you know, like.
Yeah. No, it's weird.
Is.
Well, he is insanely, excuse me, he's insanely buff now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, I guess he was always strong, or he was always, well, okay, so in Shameless, he was on that show for what, 10 years, 11 years? And so he started off as almost like a teenager,
right,
at least like very young 20s.
Kid, right?
And you can see that his face was like a baby face. And the way I think he's around our age, right?
I think he's younger because Hannah, you didn't watch or listen to Giggly Squad yet. But she talks about him. They are like,
they went to the same high school or something. I think people like his character in the show. I don't know what he's really like in real life. Because you know how he was married to somebody, had 2 kids with her?
No.
I think it was like, yeah, he was married. Addison Tomlin, I think is her name, but I don't remember what the history is. Like maybe they were college sweethearts or something like that. They met before he went really crazy viral, like dating, married when he was still on Shameless, which, you know, he was a big star, but he wasn't like as big as he is now. And then he turned into this really big Hollywood guy, and it's just like so stereotypical where he like dumps his family and starts dating models. So that part I don't love, and I feel like he didn't really get any backlash for either.
I didn't even know that happened. Yeah.
So I don't know what the actual story is, but yeah, Lip as a sex symbol is just odd because
so odd.
He is not traditionally good looking, but I think people like his bad boy vibe.
He almost like doesn't give a crap type of attitude, right?
But he also in his characters in these shows, he's very caring, very loving, very sweet on the inside.
It's true. I guess he's like a bad boy on the outside and a good boy on the inside.
And very smart too, which is very sexy.
Yeah. I guess.
Emily, you're so not into him. I could tell by your face.
Okay, let's move on to Parenthood.
All right. So I saw this TikTok last week, and I was internally like fuming. I was boiling. It was this guy in his probably early 20s or something. Is that Gen Z? I think that's Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
He was basically being like, people of my generation, can we make sure we are not like the generation above us that has kids now, where every little kid I see has some kind of iPad or some kind of screen in front of them? And he's like, I don't want to parent my kids that way. And he was basically shaming all the parents for like not giving their children any attention, any time. And in my mind, I was like, be fucking for real. You are not a parent. You have no idea. Like, you see one little sliver of time.
Yeah.
You don't know what the parent has just been doing with that kid. You don't know, like, that parent's, like, full-time obligations. It is exhausting being a parent. And having a little bit of time, like, at a restaurant to themselves is fucking warranted. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot, but I was like very heated. And I went to the comment section because I was looking for validation. The comment section went in the wrong direction.
Really?
So people, there were like no moms on this comment thread. It was just like other Gen Z probably saying like, yeah, I just don't understand why parents, like, why even have kids if you like don't even want to talk to them? Like, you're not giving your...
Gosh.
Yeah, I was so heated. I was like, screw this. Like, I'm getting off my phone right now.
Commented.
I should
them
have.
in their place.
So that is, because you know how you said like you're always getting the mom side of TikTok and I get the young people? Like, this is the downside of getting the young people on TikTok. Like, they're not relatable to me at all.
That's so annoying. Well, I hope one day he has many kids, and if he chooses not to give them screen time, he can see how that feels.
And I was trying to think of a situation where I could throw this kid in. He's not even a kid. He's like 20 something. A situation in which I could give to this guy so he would understand. But even if you babysit some kid, or even if you to take care of a kid for a week, a month, like you're never going to have that type of responsibility in the back of your mind for the well-being, the health, the future of this child. So it's just not the same in any way, shape, or form.
You can't really explain it to someone until they live it.
It's hard to replicate.
But we can skip my next one and go to random, because I do want to hear about your coat. But if anyone cares, remember there was a WhatsApp group that I'm in that's part of my neighborhood, and I offered vodka. And
wait, is this
was like episode
the Buy
1,
Nothing
I
group?
think. No, it's not the Buy Nothing group. It was like in my neighborhood, there's like a family WhatsApp that somebody created.
Okay.
And I had offered vodka because you're not supposed to like sell or give away, alcohol on Facebook, so I couldn't give it to my Buy Nothing group. And then this time I was just trying to be neighborly, and we have lemon trees. So I was like, does anybody need some lemons? And yet again, it was met with silence.
I'm shocked. Emily, I would love some lemons.
I will bring you lemons next week, yes. But I'm just like, is it me? Is it my offerings?
Everyone else has lemons already. You know why? They're not sick right now. If they had a sickness and they needed to make honey lemon water, or I actually went on DoorDash yesterday to look up getting groceries. Lemons are $2.
See, I'm offering free lemons.
Free lemons.
I don't know. I don't know if I should like quietly exit that chat, but I'll keep you all posted every time I get rejected.
Okay, let me tell you about my oversized coat as our last topic. Listeners, as a reminder, me and Emily want to be more stylish, more fashionable. We were talking about oversized coats. Emily got one from Mango that was like super oversized. I went shopping in Japan. I was heavily influenced. Every single person there had an oversized coat on. Like, people in Japan are just stylish. No one is walking around in like a big puffer jacket like we are here. And so I went shopping for one, and I just couldn't commit to the Max Mara one that is very trendy and very much a classic. Not the Teddy. They're I think it's like the 801.
Oh, I'll have to look it up. The Teddy is like my dream splurge coat that I hope I want.
That's a good one. But I feel like you just, like, imagine if you bought that and you're wearing it around San Mateo.
I know. Like, I'm not in the right place. Or, like, doing drop-offs, and they're like, don't touch my coat. It's $3,000.
No, it's like $6,000, isn't it?
No. I mean, I don't know. Last year it was like $3,000, I think.
Okay.
Maybe there's different versions.
Different versions of it. So there's a couple of classic ones from Max Mara, and I tried it on in like 2 different department stores, and then it's in the actual store itself, and I was just like, I cannot justify this purchase right now. 1, I don't live in the right climate. 2, I'm not working, and there's just like not a lot of opportunity. So I talked myself out of it, even though I kept going into the store and trying it on. So I sent you a bunch of pictures at other stores trying on these subpar coats, and nothing was like hitting right.
Aww.
I go into this other store. I talked about how Japan has really good for secondhand shopping. So I walked into the other store. It was a secondhand shop. I guess it's like a vintage shop. I found out later it's a popular luxury vintage store in Shinjuku, and I think they have a couple other locations. But I was just casually looking. I love to window shop, and I found the Max Mara section, and they had a camel oversized coat, or it was a coat. It wasn't the classic one. The guy was like, this is from 10 years ago, but it was the right color. It was my size, and the fit was perfect. You told me to lean into that oversized look, and I just couldn't lean all the way in. I leaned like 60% of the way in. So it's definitely oversized, but not like hugely oversized. And I just felt like it was so perfect. The price was right. Instead of being a couple $1,000s, it was only a couple hundred.
That's amazing.
For 100% wool. And I was like on a high. I was so
I'm excited for you. I feel like I have
excited.
chills. Like, it was like so meant to be.
I tried it on. This girl walks right out of the fitting room and she goes, that looks great on you. And she wasn't an employee. I was like, this is why Hannah from Giggly Squad goes thrifting, or people go thrifting in general, because it is like a treasure hunt. It is such a freaking surge of adrenaline when you find something that you really like, and the price is right, and it just like fits you so well.
I'm so
At least I think it
excited
fits
for
me
you.
really well.
And I feel like I bet even though it was made 10 years ago, it's probably made better than what they make now.
Yeah.
Just because of like, everybody's skimping on costs.
So I showed my mom when I got back to Taiwan, and she's like, I bet this cost a couple $100. I was like, Mom, she was just not excited for me. And she goes, this looks like the one of 20 coats I have in my closet at home. And I was like, okay, this is not the excitement.
A lot of coats, then.
She does have, I think back then it was also popular to have these like coats, and she's much more petite than I am. So then like, I feel like she was always buying oversized stuff for some reason. Oh, because, you know, Asian moms, they're like, oh, gotta layer a lot of like sweaters underneath, so you need to buy a bigger coat.
Yeah.
But I was really excited, and I was so bummed that we were leaving Japan the next day because I wanted to go shopping more.
Aww.
But I think it's for the best to like leave on a high note.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't wait to see it.
I felt very lucky. It's not even that like exciting, but it was 100% wool, and I wore it today for the first time at drop-off. Felt a little out of place, but I paired it with some New Balance sneakers, so it was fine.
Nice. Well, you'll have to wear it for me next time we meet up.
I will, for sure.
And I'll wear my mango one because I exchanged it for a smaller size.
Oh, does it fit better now?
Mm-hmm. Still a little clown-like, but I kept it. Okay, we are way over time today.
All right. Well, yes. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes. Thanks, listeners. See you next week.
Bye.